Easy work boxing, about to hit you everywhere but under your feet with this one. This is a post-fight. Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios. I predicted this fight right. I knew that Danny Garcia was going to win, but I didn't expect him to win by knockout, especially from the right hand. I wanted to come back on to make a video. I was actually thinking that I'm happy I didn't do it, but I thought that Brandon Rios might really stand a chance after I seen, him talking and he saying that he was going to come in. He made promises to Robert Garcia, to his wife, that he was going to be, focused on boxing. So I wanted to get on here and probably change it, but then I thought about it. I said, that really ain't got nothing to do with your skill. You making a promise to your wife and Robert Garcia really don't mean anything about how you gonna get in there and fight that night. And I was right. I just wasn't right about the knockout. I said that Danny would knock him out fast, but Danny ended up knocking him out, I think, with the 8th, 9th round. So I was wrong, but I said that it would be 8 rounds to 4 for Danny Garcia if it went to decision. And Danny came out and he did his thing, and I like what Danny's doing now. Danny's promoting himself a little bit better now, saying he want to fight Spence, and the thing which I'm gonna make a video about what happened between him and Sean Porter. I like that Danny didn't back down, and Danny, a lot of people don't realize this, but Danny is a headliner. Danny is really on some Floyd Mayweather shit with the Puerto Ricans and even with the Mexican fans, Latino fans. Danny put asses in the seats, and when he told him, did you hear the crowd roar when he told Sean Porter that this is the Danny Garcia show? Get the fuck out of here. That kind of lets you know then that, it's a lot of people out there rooting for Danny Garcia. But, in his fight, he gave him a little trouble. Brandon Rios, they went back and forth. Brandon, gave him a little lesson on inside boxing, hit him a couple times with little uppercuts and things like that. But at the end of the day, Danny showed him that it's levels to it. You can fight in the inside all day, but you better know how to fight on the outside. You better know how to move to the side step. You better learn how to do all that if you want to be the champ. But not saying Danny's not a champ, but I'm just saying you better know all the techniques of boxing if you want to be that guy. But like I said, I was almost right. But I wonder what's the next step for Brandon Rios. I think he should come back against another welterweight, but not a headliner like Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, nobody like that. I think it should be a legitimate name, and it should be someone with a name to keep him up there with those guys, because the average fighter coming up from 140 would not get a fight with Danny Garcia like that. Even though some say Danny cherry-picked Brandon Rios, to me that wasn't a cherry pick. Brandon Rios gonna bring it, and the man been out for about two years. Who would expect him to win this fight? But I give him full credit for stepping in the ring. Boxing is a dangerous sport. Men could die doing this sport, so I give all the guys respect. When I make my comments, there's no disrespect for them. It's just from a viewer's commentation. I'm not here to judge those guys, because they get in there and they risk their lives every time. But Danny's next step, I think Danny should fight Sean Porter. And honestly, now I really can't say who will win that fight. But all I know is if Danny is in good shape that fight, then I wouldn't expect that Sean Porter will win that fight. Sean Porter, a busy fighter, he come and he bring it, but if you there with him and you got good stamina and you can keep Sean Porter off you, if you have enough power to, which Danny does, I think this would be a good fight. This right here. I would never see Danny Garcia knocking Sean Porter out. This fight right here will go to decision, guaranteed. I promise you. But you never know, anything happens. If it was to go by knockout, or if Danny was to knock out Sean, or if Sean was to knock out Danny, it'll be surprising. Because, really Sean Porter to me don't really have punching power. They give him the credit of punching power for the body shots, but as far as hooks, straights, jabs, Sean Porter has a great jab, which I like how he throws his whole body into his jab. But I gotta get back on Brandon Rios and Danny Garcia. The next step for Danny, like I said, a fight with Sean Porter or a rematch with Keith Thurman. And, now he's calling out Errol Spence. Maybe it's something that Errol sees. Danny sees in Errol that he can capitalize off of. Or maybe Danny sees that fight to beat Errol Spence to be the top guy in welterweight, which he would. Not over Keith Thurman. Not over my boy. He ain't. Just because you beat Errol Spence don't mean you the boy. You're going to end up with the IBF belt. And you're going to get this so-called giant out the way. But you ain't going to be the man till you defeat the king of the welterweight division right now, Keith Thurman. And now a lot of people going to look at me and say Keith Thurman not a king. But when everybody wants your head, you the king. You running shit. You ruling with an iron fist. But to Danny Garcia, Brandon Rios, like I said, I predicted the fight Danny would win, but I thought it would go to decision. And I said by knockout it would be early, but it wasn't. So I was wrong in that point, but I knew Danny would win this fight. And I just hope to see Brandon Rios still stay focused, because I like his heart. I like what he brings to boxing. He's a fighter with heart. His trash talking, and he gonna bring it. So I hope Brandon Rios stays focused and he continues to make those promises kept, and he keeps on fighting. And Danny, I want to see Danny versus Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, or Errol Spence. I want to see Danny move himself up and remove that cherry picking name off him. Let's see what you really about, Danny. And this Easy Work Boxing. Thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for your time.